Hi folks, welcome to this video on skill and ability. First thing that comes up is a common question, definitions of each of these, okay? In essence then, what are abilities? Abilities are innate or genetic. It means the same thing, so we inherit them from mum and dad, and they are enduring or long lasting. So the abilities that you were born with you will keep for your entire lifetime. In contrast to that, skills are learnt or learned. There's the key thing you've always got to say, and are built upon our abilities. So a lot of pro athletes are born with certain abilities in high levels and they will build skills on top of them, okay? Now they're fairly straightforward questions. Examiners have got to be in a nice mood to ask them, so they technically ask for, or sometimes ask for, slightly more difficult ones, so we'll just have a look at them now. So they could ask about perceptual ability. Perceptual always means to do with the brain. You know, you're perceiving things, you're figuring things out, and your sense organs. So perceptual ability means interpreting the environment. Can you identify the correct stimuli? And the second one is psychomotor or motor ability. Now the key thing here is, motor means to do with the body. You know, think of it as like the engine, how the muscles contracted. So psychomotor, psycho's in the brain, motor, the body, so link between the brain and the body. Sometimes I just ask for motor ability to keep it simple. That is responding correctly. So abilities, innate, genetic, enduring, long lasting, they are, sorry. Your perceptual abilities are your abilities to interpret the environment, figure out what's going on. But then your psychomotor ability is the ability to then respond correctly. Can you interpret the movement of the ball, decide which movement you want to do, and then do it, in essence? Similarly, skill has a couple of variations on it as well. It's very, very similar. Perceptual and cognitive, in essence, you know, both to do with the brain. So perceptual ability, can you interpret the environment? Whereas cognitive skill, cognitive again to do with the brain, can you decide which skill is best to perform in this given situation? Okay? And similarly, we've got a psychomotor and motor ability, and we've got a psychomotor and motor skill. Can you produce the correct skill, the correct learned response accurately? So they are very, very similar to each other. But abilities are innate and genetic, whereas skills are learned. So these two here are to do with learning which is the correct response and then actually producing the correct skill. Okay? Okay, so what characterises a skillful performance? That's sometimes a question that comes up. What are the characteristics of skill? Okay, there's a dead easy way of remembering this. Okay? What we're going to do is remember the term ace-face. Okay, so if ever you are asked to categorise skill, what is a skilled performer or skilled performance, you're just going to remember these. So what are skills? They are accurate. They are consistent. They are efficient, so they don't waste any energy. Okay, they are fluent or they flow well. Here's a belter. They are aesthetically pleasing, i.e. they look brilliant. It's the kind of thing that you watch on TV and go, oh, look at that, that was incredible. They also show high levels of control, so they are controlled movements, and when a pro does them right, they appear absolutely effortless. So if you are ever asked to give characteristics of a skill performance, it's literally putting those down. Okay? The more common question is, how do you classify skills according to various continua? So continua is like what we've got here. We've got two of them here and there's four that we're going to look at. Okay, so continua is, can you put this skill, do you like my lightsaber, anywhere on this line? Okay, so is a skill open or closed? That's what we're going to look at first. First of all, we need a definition. So, open skills are skills that you perform where decisions have to be made because the environment is changing. So put yourself in a game situation, players are moving around, the ball is moving around, gaps have been created and then shut down on, right in front of your eyes. You've got to make decisions constantly all the time. Whereas closed skills, you don't have to make any decisions. The environment is fixed. For example, a long jump or a triple jump or a high jump, it's the same length runway. It might be in a totally different city or a different country, but it's the same length run up, the same sandpit, the same material under your feet. No one can run in front of you and put you off, anything like that. So open skills are where you've got to make quick decisions on the spot. Closed skills are where you're just doing the same routine you've practiced time and time again. So now if we move down onto the bottom criteria, self-paced, ready for the lightsaber, there we go. Self-paced and externally paced. You're going to get fed up with that, are you? Because I am already. Self-paced and externally paced, then what can we say about these? So with regards to this, what is a self-paced skill? You decide when you're going to start. It's under your control. And you can also decide the speed of the movement. So you can decide to run a marathon very quickly, very slowly, whatever. You also decide when to start things like Tom Daley doing a dive routine. He's got 2 minutes to decide when he wants to go. He can go straight away. Or he can wait for the full 2 minutes before he decides when to start his movement. Similarly with long jumpers, high jumpers, triple jumpers, you can decide when you want to start the movement. Coming to the opposite end here, okay, external factors affect. I've put start time it should say, my apologies for that, okay. Something like a 100 metre race, you go when the gun tells you to go. Swimming start, you go when the buzzer tells you to go. But affecting the speed of movement, you know, someone running at you in terms of you ready to tackle them, that's something that you might put halfway down this this continua, because self-paced, you might run towards the player to try and tackle them early, but equally the pace at which they're running at is going to affect when you can tackle them. So that's something you've got to think about. You know, have you got total control over when you start and when you go, or is there an external influence? So there are two final criteria, that we can classify skills on. Top one is discrete, serial, or continuous, okay? So what can we say? Right, discrete skills are skills that have a clear beginning and ending, okay? That is the vast majority of sports skills. Remember, we're talking about skills, not events. You might go, everything's got a clear beginning and ending. Continuous have no clear beginning and ending because they are repetitive action. There are 3/4 continuous skills, okay? Oops, just get rid of that, sorry. Running at any speed, swimming any stroke, cycling any kind, and arguably rowing. If it is not one of those 4 skills, it isn't continuous. Only those 4 skills are continuous, okay? Discrete skills is everything else. There's only one variation. Serial, and what we put there, a series of discrete skills performed in a sequence. For example, a triple jump, a gymnastics routine, Tom Daley doing diving, somersault followed by pike, followed by twist, followed by entry into the water. There are several discrete skills put back to back. So this is basically all routines. They are your serial skills, okay? The final criteria is the easiest one of the lot. In terms of gross or fine, gross skills are ones that use large muscle groups, not large numbers of muscles, okay? It's large muscle groups, pectorals, deltoids, traps, quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, gastrocnemiae, all those muscle groups. Fine skills are those that use small muscle groups. 99.9% of questions that you're going to get asked are going to be gross skills, large muscle groups. That's what you need to be focusing your attention on in terms of that answer. So just to finish off then, there's a couple of things I could ask here. Classify, okay, the following criteria according to, so let's have a look, classify, there we go again, look. Classify the 400 metres on the 4 continua and justify. There is the key word, justify. Say why. That's what it means, okay? Now, she's a 400 metre runner, okay? What is about the 400 metres, you stay in your own lanes all the time. Therefore, okay, just get slightly thicker on my pen. Therefore, it's a closed skill. You are in your own lane, and that is a predictable environment. Okay? Because no one can come in, no one can influence you. If they do, they're going to get disqualified, so it's not going to happen. Okay? So there's the identification, and then I've done the justification. Okay? Now the 400 metre running is self-paced. You decide, as in this case Allyson Felix decides the speed of movement. I'll just put speed of move. Okay, so she's deciding that, right? Then we have got the fact that it is continuous. Why? Because it's a repetitive action. Running, as we've said, is a repetitive action. And finally, it's a gross skill. Because she's using large muscle groups. Okay, now here's the thing. That's about running. What if you was to get a question on how does it change, or which ones of these will change when you go into the start? Okay, so forget her running, forget Allyson Felix running the 400 metres. What happens when she starts, so she gets into the set position and she's about to start? Which two of these will change? Well, the thing is, it's still, let me just change the colour of my pen. During the sprint start, it's still going to be closed. No one can influence me. I'm in my blocks, everyone else is in their own blocks, we can't get in each other's lanes, it's not a problem. However, this time, it's going to be externally paced. The gun is going to tell you when to go. Okay? Also, whereas running is a continuous skill, it's the repeatable or repetitive action, a sprint start is discrete. Why? Because a sprint start has a clear beginning and ending. In the set position, there's the start, gun goes off, you push out the blocks, that is the end of the start. That is not a repetitive action, it's got a clear beginning and clear ending. But again, you're bursting out the blocks as quick as you can, it is still a gross skill. So you've just got to be aware of the fact that they could ask you to do one and then say which ones change. Okay? Hope you found this useful, folks.